Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Level Up Brandon. And today we're talking about the free game available this week only on the Epic Games Store, Cris Tales. If you're watching this video after March 3rd, 2022, then the game will no longer be free, but I'll still help you in deciding whether or not you should play it. If you're excited for this game, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and ding that little bell so you get notified as soon as there is a new awesome free game available for download on the Epic Games Store. Be sure to watch till the very end to learn all the super cool aspects of this love letter to classic JRPGs. Epic Games has once again done a favor for us gamers by making the video game Cris Tales free on the Epic Games Store throughout this week. The game will be free from the 24th of February to the 3rd of March, giving you enough time to redeem this game for free using the Epic Games launcher. If you have never heard of this game before, Cris Tales is a role-playing video game that was developed by the Colombian indie game studios Dream Incorporated and SYCK. At launch, the game was made available for multiple platforms, which are PlayStation 4 or 5, Xbox One or Series, consoles, PCs, and Switch. Cris Tales was released back on the 20th of July last year, and the game fits in the action-adventure and Japanese role-playing game genre. Alright, so since we already know what the game is, let's dive in a little deeper. First discussing the narrative. In the game, you play as Cris Bell, who must embark across Crystalis and the Four Kingdoms in a bid to stop the powerful Time Empress, and rewrite the future of the world and all those living in it. Along the way, you'll meet and recruit powerful allies with their own unique stories and skills like Matthias the Frog and Wilhelm the Child Mage. According to the game's description, as Cris Bell explores the world and meets new companions, you will have to make choices with far-reaching consequences for the people she meets. Consequences that will impact the world you experience in real time throughout your journey. Overall, the story in this game is very interesting. There are powerful moments in the game, especially during banter between characters. The voice acting is decent.
Hold on. You have a talking frog? And you didn't mention it? A talking frog is like in my top 5 animals I want to meet!
And the characters are interesting. However, and this is a big however, the narrative suffers from how characters are utilized. A lot of characters and companions that you will encounter in this game have insane potential to be even more interesting and intriguing. Unfortunately, they are utilized in such a poor way that all of the potential disappears. Next up, let's discuss the art style, graphics, and design. If I didn't mention this before, Cris Tales uses beautifully hand-drawn 2D art, so the game looks visually stunning. But not as in a photorealistic, rather very detailed and high quality. Not to mention, Cris Tales is animated frame by frame, which is very impressive and is probably the reason why the game feels pretty smooth and fluid. The game has a cartoonish look, which is pretty cool, but it may not be for everyone. Moving on, the game's music is pretty good. It doesn't sound iconic or catchy, but it's decent nonetheless. When it comes to performance, the game will run pretty well on almost any hardware, as long as you don't own a 15-year-old potato. You can run this game just fine. There won't be any or much stuttering, but you may encounter some audio glitches. However, it isn't game-breaking or anything like that. And finally, let's discuss the gameplay. This is where Cris Tales suffers from the most. Unfortunately, the gameplay isn't that great, and you'll be able to see it the more you play. For the first 2 or 3 hours, the game will be extremely fun. There is a time manipulation mechanic that allows you to alter reality and get an edge in combat. But sadly, the whole time manipulation thing is barely used in combat. About 90% of the time, you will just be hitting enemies with attacks, and the other 10% is time manipulation. This is pretty disappointing because the whole time manipulation mechanic had a lot of potential, and it's sad to see that murdering enemies with regular attacks is far more effective. Now, because of the lack of variety in the combat of the game, it is possible for some of you guys to get bored throughout the middle of the game till the end. The game can feel repetitive and slow at times due to how dull the combat can get. If only the devs were to update the game and make time manipulation more effective and useful, it would definitely help prevent players from getting bored. But this doesn't mean that the gameplay is 100% bad. Cris Tales does have some decent gameplay if we look past the combat. For example, whatever you do in the side quests would affect the future, which really makes the role-playing aspect of the game more present. And also, you can go to the past and find some objects or make something in the present and go to the future to see what happens. In addition, if you have played and enjoyed the old Final Fantasy series games, you will probably enjoy the combat in Cris Tales. And lastly, there are a lot of useful items, as in there are many gadgets that you can utilize in combat. For example, you can equip your entire party with rings, which will heal each member every turn, making your party difficult to beat. In the middle of the game, you will also get a lot of currency, which will allow you to buy lots of equipment, and you can use them and start being experimental. So, let's now answer the question, should you play it? Well, the answer is yes, assuming you can get it while it's still free. I'm not sure I'd recommend shelling out $40 at full price for this game, but hey. The story of Cris Tales is very intriguing as it features interesting characters and plot. When it comes to the gameplay, the combat isn't perfect and there are some aspects of it that the developers can improve on. But if we look past it, the gameplay can be pretty fun. You can use various equipment, try out different strategies, and be experimental despite attacking enemies, with regular moves being the most effective strategy. Plus, the game has stunning visuals that might be able to make up for the lack of combat mechanics, depending on how much you value combat in a game. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you're going to get Cris Tales, subscribe for more gaming related content, and ding that little bell so you get notified as soon as there is a new awesome free game available for download on the Epic Games Store. Also, let me know down in the comment section if you're going to pick up this game and why you enjoy JRPG games. See ya!